to another exciting adventure of the moon. My name's Alicia and this is Soul in Balance. Okay, so full moon in Scorpio. Now this full moon will be happening on the 19th of May at 7:11 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Now it has been rather interesting this time throughout May. It has been a test of our values, as you know, the sun has been going through Taurus and Uranus has been there too, asking us to revolutionize what we value. You know, we've had to let go of some of our attachments and what we thought brought us value. You know, we could have had to let go of our friendships or our assets, or something has, you know, been ripped out from underneath us, and we've had to sit there and have a look at our lives and look at what we want and what we actually value. So it has been rather tough. And you know, I myself, I'm in Egypt and I was supposed to do a new moon in Taurus video 2 weeks ago, and just getting here was absolutely hectic. So I'm very sorry for all those that were upset about me not doing a video 2 weeks ago. I definitely apologize for that. I myself just had to value how I was feeling and what was going on for myself, and my own like death and rebirth process that I was experiencing in this country, as it is such a magical place. And it does bring up, you know, health issues or emotions that need to be brought up to be cleared. You know, the pyramids alone are energy centers, and just being around them and being in the vicinity of them, you know, brings up emotions and stagnant energy that needs to come up to the surface. So I definitely feel like the health issues and you know, things that I was experiencing were being brought up from what was going on at home before I came here. So it is such a transformational place. It really is absolutely amazing. So let's get back into the astrology. So this full moon will be happening at 27 degrees of Scorpio. So the moon will be in Scorpio and the opposite will be the sun, that is at 27 degrees in Taurus. And joining the sun in Taurus is Mercury. So what we do at all full moons, it's about releasing. So what can we release at this time that helps us be in our value, helps us move into the direction that makes us feel good? Because we do have to honor the North Node in Cancer. What feels right? What makes us feel of worth within ourselves? So what can we release at this full moon, representing Scorpio, representing other people's values, other people's money, other people's attachments, or our attachment to other people? What can we release to honor our own value? And you know, this concept has been going on literally probably the last month and even longer. I've said it so many times throughout every video that we really need to just be letting go of what is no longer of service to us and stepping in to our truth and what we really value. So definitely at this time we need to be going to the polarity point of this full moon, which is the sun and Mercury. So we need to be listening to our, you know, inner communication. What are we saying to ourselves to value ourselves? You know, how are we connecting to other people that is bringing about value within ourselves? You know, what can we release at this time to honor that self-worth, that self-reliance? And you know, a lot of us have had to let go of so many attachments and connections that we've had in our lives. It could be work, it could be our family, it could be friends, it could be, you know, intimate relationship partnerships, it could be a home that we've had to leave, or you know, housemates, or some kind of, you know, letting go. And it can be for some people in all areas of life just a massive wipeout and starting, you know, a clean slate. And it is hard, you know. Some of us are in the dark of what's going to happen next. How am I going to survive? You know, so, and we have been tested to value ourselves. And you know, some people, I know myself as well, when I got here I even got like eczema. I've never got eczema in my life, and I had like eczema over like my heart and then up the right side of my neck and down my right arm. Never had that in my life. And then I had started to get a right ear infection, and then my whole digestive system didn't work. And if you have a look at, say, metaphysical anatomy, which is our emotions that create illness, you know, skin being, you know, our protection, not feeling protected. And I know myself, I definitely did not feel protected with all the things that I've had to let go of in my life before I came on this trip. I really felt like I just didn't have that connection or protection or all the usual things that I would usually have in my life, because I know myself, I have to move into that new. I have to step into my self-worth and value, and everyone else is going through this as well. So don't be surprised if you are having, you know, really weird health issues that you've never had before. Like, I can't say I've had any of these health issues that I've had on this trip. So yes, skin related, heart related, you know, any types of things like that, anything to do with protection. There's a really good book if you're interested in learning about metaphysical anatomy, because every single illness in our body is from stagnant emotions, and you know, the emotions there are the root cause for that ailment. And you know, I think it's Yvette Rose, she does the book Metaphysical Anatomy. It's a big, thick book on every single health issue you can have and the emotions behind it. So if you're interested in that, you know, it really is a great book to purchase. But yeah, just understanding that if you are having health issues at the moment, or just weird things pop up, that is completely normal. We're just releasing really old ways of being, our old attachments, our old value system, and what we've, you know, all our assets and things that we've thought made us be of value. So yes, it is a really, really crazy time at the moment. Okay, so as I'm in Egypt, I thought it would be quite fitting to explain a lot of the stories and the mythology that I believe is in correlation with this full moon. And what I think at this time is it goes along with the story of, say, Isis and Hathor. So back in the day in ancient Egypt, there was Isis. And Isis has two brothers, Osiris and Seth. And in those times that were very different to right now, Isis had a relationship with her brother Osiris. So they were a couple, so they were together. And Seth, their other brother, got angry at this and decided to kill Osiris, the brother, and cut him up into many pieces, and yeah, pretty much scattered him around the country. And at this time, this is what represents Isis, the form of life and rebirth. And I believe this is like the story with Scorpio, the element of rebirth, the death and rebirth. So Isis went along and picked up all the pieces of her brother and lover Osiris and put him back together and brought him back to life. And during this time, she quickly had a child with him called Horus. And because she was so worried that Seth, their brother, would then go and kill Horus, she gave their son to a goddess called Hathor. And she is depicted as a goddess with cow ears, or a goddess as a cow, which definitely represents the Taurus theme. So Horus went on to, you know, be mothered by Hathor, you know, being that element of beauty and love, and, you know, that motherly love. And this kind of represents, you know, the Taurus element, the Venus element. And then later on, Hathor ends up marrying Taurus, the sun that she raised as her own. So obviously that's a little bit weird for this day and age, but that is the story from back then. And I definitely feel like this is very fitting for what is going on right now, the letting go, the death and the rebirth in connection, and then honoring and valuing ourselves, honoring that motherly love, honoring our emotions and, you know, beauty and wealth, and, you know, transforming in a way. There are some people that say that the relationship of Isis and Osiris carried forward into Hathor and Horus. And the really interesting part is that Horus was the first partner or king that was of same value as the queen. So women were back in those days were classed as a higher ranking than a male, and when they got together, Horus and Hathor, after she raised him as her son, he was of the same value as her. So that is very interesting as well. So I don't think the story completely correlates, but it does in a way of the theme of, you know, just the death and the rebirth, letting go of the old and transforming and then bringing life into something new, being of value and of equal value. Also working in correlation with this is the aspect of Osiris still. So we talked about Osiris and Isis and how Isis put Osiris back together. So Osiris is known as the god of the afterlife, and he was watched over by Anubis, which is the dog-like creature. So getting back to Osiris, so just after the Taurus constellation is Orion's belt, and the pyramids, the three pyramids work along with Orion's belt, the three aspects on Orion's belt. And as Osiris represents Orion's belt, it's all, you know, working part and parcel with this full moon, this aspect of death and rebirth. And what else is amazing here is that the Orion's belt and the pyramids is making exact aspects out to the Pleiades constellation, and that is where the Sun and Mercury are at this full moon. So it really is bringing up, you know, downloads and all this information and data and evolution that we are getting from the Pleiades at this time, and also from ancient Egyptian times, realizing our worth, realizing that we're mystical beings, and understanding that we need to evolve into our highest form of worth and self-reliance at this time. So it really is such a magical time, and a time for full transformation and rebirth. It could even be in relationships. There's been such a hard time in relationships. A lot of relationships are ending, absolutely being wiped out. And I think at this time, it really is a magical time in relation to Osiris and Isis, you know, making that relationship worth, going through a death and a rebirth. If two people are willing to do the work, willing to evolve, willing to change, and just focus on what they need to change, not the partner needs to change, we can see relationships working out. But ultimately, if two people can't make it work, can't see eye to eye, don't want to evolve, or just one person's evolving, then these relationships will fizzle out. I think I mentioned this in previous videos. So it really is a time of transformation, death and rebirth, new starts. So if you're wanting a new start, if there's things that you've always wanted to do and haven't had, say, the courage to make that change, this is the time to do it. Things are ending and new beginnings are blossoming. So make sure you get your intentions out there. Make sure you start what you actually want to do. It is a time for fulfilling our desires, moving into our passions, letting go of the old and broken, all our conditioning, what we've been told we have to have in our lives, like the white picket fence and, you know, the family and 2+ children and, you know, having that university degree and all these types of things that we've been conditioned to believe that we need to be breaking away from that now. We need to be moving into what we're really passionate about, the life that we've always wanted to live. So definitely use this full moon as a transformation. Scorpio also represents, psychic awareness and psychic abilities and seeing through the veil. A lot of Scorpios or people with a lot of Scorpio in their chart just have this X-ray vision. So at this time we can be seeing through lies and seeing through the truth and seeing what things are really like and what's really going on. So realistically at this time, it is a time to be seeing what's really going on and then making that change. So if there are changes that you want to make, this is the time to do it. This is the new start we've all been needing, because all the things in our lives have been breaking away, all the old, and for some of us it's just literally just like we've had everything wiped out and it's a clean slate to move forward. So yeah, anything that you're passionate about, get that going at this time. Okay, so let's go over some of the astrological aspects. So we have Venus in Taurus, and that is the ruler of Taurus as well. But Venus is conjunct Uranus, the radical change master, the revolutionizer. So we are beginning to understand our self-worth. We are moving into this self-validation that we've never had before, and if we're not moving in that direction, Uranus will literally shake things up. So you have to, and you are forced to face your worth. So you'll probably lose multiple things in your life to see that all that you need is you. And so at this time, it can be multiple things. It can be relationships, and it can be a relationship with the self, because this is also sextiling out to Mars in Cancer. So this means revolutionizing relationships. So if you are in a relationship that you would like to move into the future, this is the time to revolutionize your relationship, have a rebirth, have a transformation like I went over earlier in the video. But I also want to talk about Mars in Cancer, so, and then the North Node is there as well. So it's really pushing that theme of coming home to our feelings, understanding our feelings, supporting our feelings, being the mother that we might not have had, or learning to mother ourselves, because we really need to be doing that. We need to be supporting ourselves, nurturing ourselves. This is a time for coming in and valuing our emotions. So Mars here is really digging up this old stuff, and especially because it's making aspects out to Chiron in Aries. So it could really just be like digging up old pain from, childhood, or, times when you didn't get your nurturing needs met. So this can be a time of, family issues coming to the forefront. So at this time, it's a time for being kind to yourself, supporting yourself. If you are waking up feeling like you don't want to get up today, don't get up today. Support yourself. Like if you're feeling upset, validate yourself and say it's okay to be upset. We need to be supporting ourselves at this time. And also, if you are having family stuff come up right now, family dynamics are changing, or old woundings coming up, it is completely normal at this time as well. We need to be clearing all this old stuff. And with all the aspects in Capricorn, it really is bringing up our past lives, generations of trauma. So, the stuff that you might be experiencing in your family dynamic right now might be something from past lives. It might be something from your bloodline that's coming to the forefront to be cleared. So yeah, there's just so much going on of bringing up the old stuff and feeling it and letting it go. So at this time, we've got some mystical and auspicious aspects going on with the planetary alignments. We have a wide mystical rectangle, and we also have a yod, which is the finger of God. So Righty, so a finger of God is two inconjunctions and a sextile, and it has a release point, and that release point is Jupiter retrograde in Sagittarius, and that is asking us to seek the truth within, go into our inner wisdom. And at this time, I think we're really being pushed in that direction anyway, because Scorpio does make us see the truth, and that is what this full moon's about. So it's just amplifying that truth, amplifying the wisdom and the understanding. It's like the guru, and being the guru, being our, what would you call, our higher selves, bringing that into our day-to-day lives and our decisions. Now we need to stop, using our little brain, our monkey brain. We need to start using our brain from an evolved being point of view. So definitely at this time, if things are getting hard, or you just feel like you're not coping, go towards the universal truth, go towards your wisdom and what you know, and then also reflect back on what makes you feel good. Support yourself, be there for yourself, honor your emotions. And I think at this time, this is the best advice to give, is to just understand these aspects of the truth and what's real and what you really need. So yes, then we also, at this time, which makes another reason why this full moon is so transformational, it's making a sextile out to Pluto, the South Node, and Saturn, all in Capricorn. And so is the Sun and Mercury in Taurus. So that's a trine. And then the sextile. So this is a sign of ease. So this is bringing this transformational energy through in an easy sense. So it's guiding us to make that change. But I do want to say that change, no matter what it is hard. Sometimes we'll make a change and then the next week we'll go back to what we were doing before. But I think at this time we're really being guided just to commit to that change, and we're being supported to commit to that change. So it really is such a transformational full moon. Like, I can't say it enough, really. It's just absolutely amazing. So yeah, at this time, it really is a time of just sitting down and focusing on what you really want. What's going on right now is whatever we put our energy into, our focus into, is what is being brought about. So try and keep your thoughts and your energy away from old negative stuff. Like, obviously it's important to process feelings and go into that stuff, because the only way through pain is to go through it. But pay attention to the brain chatter, pay attention to what you're saying every single day. Like we say, I think it's like 30,000, 20,000 words to ourselves a day. So I think it's really important to really think about what you're saying. Bruce Lipton talks about if you're thinking negatively about someone or talking negatively about someone, then that person is also going to be talking negatively and thinking negatively about you. So whatever we're putting our mind to, whatever we're putting our energy into right now, is going to manifest. So it's important to be thinking about what you want. So, and that's not to say that things will just manifest like immediately, even though most things are right now. Like, it's absolutely crazy the rate that things are manifesting, but some things are going to take some time. The things that you're needing to step into to be a part of your future, whether that's somebody being part of the revolution or part of the change in this world, or somebody who's here to help people on a massive level. These things take a little bit of time, but still just keep focusing on that. Make that change. We're stepping into the new, we're stepping into new frequencies. So let go of the old stuff, let go of the old programming. And what's amazing is that our way of thinking and our thought pattern is taught in the first 7 years of our lives, but that is just our subconscious programming. What can change that is our conscious programming, and it takes 21 days to form a habit. So for 21 days, really focus on changing the way you think. thinking positive things, thinking about what you want, not what you don't want. And I think I've been saying it in my last few videos, is to get a love journal or a love diary where every morning or every evening you just write down all the things you love about yourself. It makes such a massive difference to your day. Like even being in Egypt, I forgot to do it for a week, and I literally, it's just amazing the difference of not doing it made to my life. And then I just did it for one day, remembering, oh, I brought that book and I wrote in it, and it was amazing, the transformation of just, 20 beautiful things about myself completely changed my situation and, the dynamics that were going on here and just my mental state. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up the video. It is such a magical time. Do not skip out on yourself right now. Be there for yourself right now. Embrace the change. Let the old die. Let the old you die and send it off with love, because our old selves is what has served us up until this point. So there is nothing wrong with the way that we have handled life. We have all dealt with life the best that we can, and from our understanding of life. So definitely at this time, send the old you off with love and embrace the new frequencies, the new earth, the new vibration that is hitting us at this time. I'm in Egypt right now, so I do recommend, if you've been thinking about traveling to Egypt, to definitely come here. It is such a transformational place. The energy and the frequency here is absolutely radical. I know, like when I said earlier in the video about what health problems I had, because when I got here, I was staying directly across from the pyramids, and oh my God, that's why I think I got all those health problems, because it just amplifies what's really going on in your body, or your emotions that need to be coming up. So the magical thing that I'm going to be doing tomorrow at the full moon is I'm going to be spending some time in the Great Pyramid, which is the bigger pyramid out of the three. So hopefully I'll have a rapid energy transformation at this full moon. But yes, for everybody else, it is a time of connecting to feelings. It's connecting to our psychic abilities and, our connection to the afterlife, or souls that have passed, or just the collective soul womb of all our connections in this universe. So it's definitely a time of connecting and letting that psychic information come through to us. It's definitely a time to go to the beach or have a bath, or something relating to water and releasing. That's it for me. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. I also do readings. So I do birth chart readings, relationship readings. All that information is down below or on my website. But yes, I hope you all have a super magical full moon in Scorpio. See you. So I just want to do a quick shout out to the two amazing places I stayed at during my trip in Egypt. So one of them was the Australian hostel when I first got here in Cairo, and everyone that works here is absolutely amazing. The boys that are here are so helpful. I felt so cared about, so respected, and everything that I needed, they are so willing to help you and do anything for you. It's a really chilled and relaxed place. You feel like you're at home. And when I traveled down south, I stayed at a place in Luxor called Happy Land, and that also is such a magical place. I was supposed to be there 3 days and I ended up staying 5 because it was just so amazing. I felt like I was at home. It had a rooftop, an outdoor area, and where you could purchase food, so there's a restaurant up there as well. The staff there are so amazing. They'll help you with anything. You don't feel like you're going to get ripped ripped off. They don't push tours onto you. It is just a really chill place where you are respected and cared about. It's absolutely amazing. And then when I came back up north, as I'm going back home to Australia tomorrow, I came back and stayed at the Australian hostel. And again, the guys here are just absolutely amazing. It is such a great place to stay, and I highly recommend that if you travel to Egypt that you do stay at these places. Stay at the Australian hostel in Cairo, and also stay in Happy Land at Luxor.
From a land down under, women go and men wonder. So sentimental, gotta be someone else these days. It comes, it comes, it comes, it comes, it comes and goes. A list of many, think less but see it grow like a right.